What's up to YouTube? I am Reactor of All. Today, I listened to a video by Looper called Tom Holland Finally Speaks His Mind After Disney and Sony Split. So basically this makes my part 3 video irrelevant because those rumors were found to be unfounded. I'm not really expecting a good week. Someone early in the day brought up something I didn't really want to talk about. It revolving around a test score that I don't know what to expect. I know I have a good idea of when it's coming, but I don't know what to expect. And depending on that test, I don't know what's going to happen. That can strongly dictate my future, depending on what my options are, or if I do well, if I don't do well. But let's react to Tom Holland and the producer, how they reacted to the news of feige of Sony and Marvel splitting. At the end, I'm gonna react to to the actual split itself. But for now, I'm just gonna react to Tom Holland because to me that's kind of the priority right now. I feel like he's the one that's, after all this, considering the way that he took it, I feel like he's the one that deserves the most love here, And he handled it, he handled his situation in a very dignified way. I mean, probably as dignified as anyone, not just as anyone can expect, but better. He's more mature than I thought he was. Not to say that I thought he was immature, as a person, but I like how he waited to react, not just give all his emotions, to the crowd, and right away at least. So I'm just gonna react. I'm gonna start reacting to Tom Holland's quotes. I'll go to Feige's quotes, or Feige. Sorry, I'll go to Feige's quotes, and then I'm gonna give my own take. If you've seen my previous videos, I think you'll see where I'm gonna go. The thing is, I was probably right the first time, and I hate that. Tom Holland said that it's been a crazy week, but I want you to know that I am grateful from the bottom of my heart, and I love you 3000. That hits me in a lot of levels. A crazy week doesn't even begin to cover it. I don't recall a time when something as successful as Spider-Man was destroyed in such degree. You know what I'm saying? Spider-Man's gonna change as we know it. I mean, thank goodness Tom Holland is, gonna continue being Spider-Man. At least there's that continuity. But I mean, I don't think Feige's gonna be the producer because he works for Marvel, and Spider-Man is owned by Sony. So there is a loss there. I am grateful for the films. I'm grateful for the films that do exist, but they could have done so much more, And there's so many lost opportunities. Some of them I went over in my previous videos, And I love you 3000. Like, first off, he and Tony Stark, they hang out all the time. Robert Downey Jr. He and Robert Downey Jr. spend so much time together. I feel like they have a lot of respect for each other. And I love you 3000. I mean, that hits me because the way Tony Stark passed away, and those were one of the last things we heard him say. And I mean, that was one of the last things we heard him say. And it's like Spider-Man died too. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know, but at least to the public, Tom Holland is handling it with a lot of class. But let's keep going. So basically, we made 5 great movies. It's been 5 amazing years. I've had the time of my life. Who knows what the future holds? But nobody does, except Sony. I think later on in the video of Loopers, or maybe I saw it from somewhere else. Apparently, it was pitched, the Spider-Man 3. After Far From Home. That movie was pitched to Spider-Man during all this. And so it's kind of a cementing of the separation, the divorce, whatever you want to call it, between Sony and Marvel. And but all I know is that I'm going to continue playing Spider-Man and having the time of my life. It's going to be so much fun, however we choose to do it. I mean, if I continue watching the movies, it's going to be because of Tom Holland. Sony obviously probably couldn't care less about that. It's in their best interest to keep Tom Holland as a Spider-Man. My eyes hurt. It's 3 in the morning. I didn't want to react to this, but I kind of had a few videos leading up to this, so might as well. Just because it didn't end the way I wanted doesn't mean I shouldn't respond to it. I had time of life. Who knows what the future holds? Again, nothing. But all I know is that I'm going to continue playing Spider-Man and having the time of my life. It's going to be fun, however we choose to do it. Spider-Man in generally is a fun character. Some of the things that made it not as fun was kind of the consistency in which the character was portrayed, in the different, in the other two, I guess, generations. But this, the Spider-Man in the Marvel comics, Marvel universe, has been completely different. So, oh man, I don't even want to react to these quotes. I just want to like talk crap about Sony and Disney. Anyway, I mean, but I appreciate Tom Holland's positivity. I respect him a lot more for it. I respected him a lot already, but I feel like if I was in Tom Holland's shoes, I would not be reacting this way, But he is, so I'm more of a fan than I was before. Let's go to Feige, the producer of the Spider-Man films and all that. So he said, "What I'm feeling about Spider-Man is gratitude and joy. We got to make 5 films within the MCU with Spider-Man, 2 standalone films, and 3 with the Avengers. That team did a good job in making those films. Probably some of the greatest films I've ever watched, in terms of as far as superhero movies, as far as the intricacies, the layering, all that. It's hard for me to remember when there was something so thorough, those series of films. And he was a big part in making those movies be successful. So I see, I see his point. Nothing much to say there. It was a dream that I never thought would happen. It was never meant to last forever. We knew there was a finite amount of time that we'd be able to do this, and we told the story we wanted to. And I'll always be thinking, my problem with that quote is that, what I said before, it's like, you could have done so much more. In my previous video, I talked, I elaborated on some of those things. If you want, you can go to that video. It was my happier video on part 3, with the different pitches of the voice. I was really happy that day. I think it was yesterday, actually. It's hard for me to remember what day it was because I'm kind of shell-shocked by this. Yeah, okay, so 2 standalone films, and all of those films were probably among my favorites because of Spider-Man. And some of them had Iron Man too, so if not all of them. So I haven't still. I mean, obviously the last one, the other standalone film won't really have Iron Man much. I haven't seen it, and I don't even know if I want to see it. Like I'm gonna feel so sad because that will be. I even heard there was a cliffhanger at the end of the film, so, and that cliffhanger is not going to be pursued. So it was never meant to last forever. I mean, I know technically you had that contract that ended August 20th. I forgot the day that it ended. But it ended like a week ago. Okay, so maybe August 19th, August 20th, but I think August 20th. We knew there was a finite amount of time that we'd be able to do this, and we told the story we wanted to tell. And I'll always be thankful for that. I mean, I feel like he doesn't really have a choice but to be positive because 1, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and 2, he still works for Disney. Yeah, and Tom Holland had to do the same thing, but I feel like Tom Holland, I don't know, I feel like he could distance himself more than Holland can. I mean, Holland's right in the middle. And I saw the films, my mind was racing, either yesterday or the day before when I made the previous video about all the things they could have done with Spider-Man. But all of them will have been wasted opportunity, just like what could have been. But it's like saying Toy Story 2 never happened. That's kind of how I see it. Like, imagine you had Toy Story, the first one, that anyone in my age range, and watch Disney at all, Disney Pixar, they really liked that film. It was really, it's a hell of a movie, and that's how I feel, I don't even know if I'm coherent right now. Okay, so then it was a dream that I thought would never happen. It was never meant to last forever. We knew there was a finite amount of time that we'd be able to do this. I mean, okay, so I'm gonna use this as a transition to go to Sony, or to look at Sony and to look at Marvel, at all that stuff. Holland, if I highly doubt you're watching this, but if you're watching this, you should close it now. You should continue being professional. You should continue being you. You don't need some random, jerk like me to talk about his feelings or whatever. First, Disney, what the F? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with, 20% wasn't enough for you? I understand maybe the 5% of first gross, they got 5% of the gross that was from the first day of the film. But they wanted 50% of the whole thing. And when you have Sony financing the whole film, granted, Disney did a good job, the MCU, they did a great job, making Spider-Man the way it was. The innovation, whatever you want to call it, the creativity, I'm really angry, particularly at Disney, because what more do you want? You know, like, what else? Like, I don't see your Marvel films in the future being as successful as the ones in the past. So if you weren't, you know, dumbasses, you would be smarter to kind of make sure you have those investments, make sure you have those products in place, you know. So maybe instead of asking for 50% of everything, maybe you could have asked for a higher number for the first gross, maybe like, I don't know, 70% of first gross versus, or 20% of everything or something like that. But here you go, you gotta play greedy, you gotta measure your pants relative to the other person and be like, oh, I'm bigger than him, so you're gonna say I deserve at least 50. You know, like, what's wrong with you? And that's basically the story that I'm hearing, you know. And those are in my previous videos. Like, this makes me discouraged from watching Disney movies. Like, I don't watch many Disney movies anymore. You know, one of my cousins is like, hey, have you seen Tangled? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen Tangled. I didn't really like the Star Wars movie that much. Apparently there was a tease about Rey going dark side or something like that, and I'm like, what? So what? You know, like, I don't care. It's hard for me to be enthusiastic about what Disney has to say, you know, about what Disney has to output. At this point, I mean, you know, they used to have, for me at least, they used to have the credibility of, you know, oh my God, it's Disney. It has to be good. It has to be a good quality, you know. But at this point, I really don't care. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, the things that I see are either effects, like cinematography, or the acting of the people. So I'm just gonna look at the people, and it's like, okay, does this actor interest me? You know, like, does this actor, do I feel that he or she has the chops for me to be entertained? And that's probably the only reason why I'm gonna be watching the you know, maybe Black Panther 2. I don't know about that one yet, but it'll probably be the only reason why I watch the Spider-Man films, because, man, why would you mess with that? And I don't want to hear it from anybody saying that it's Sony's fault, like to give Sony all the blame. Obviously, I'm gonna get to Sony. They deserve some of the blame, but a lot of disappointment right now. Okay, so Sony, I don't even know how to feel about you guys, because I understand, assuming that the rumors, the things that I'm saying are true about what Disney said, saying, oh, we want 50%. I can imagine that freaked you out. What I wish is that you didn't close the door on them right away. You know, I'm not sure why the rumors, or I'm not sure why just because the contract's finished and maybe you passed the deadline doesn't mean you can't ever talk to them anymore. You know, I don't really understand the why that is, you know. But I feel like I'm more on your side. I'm not on your side, but I feel like I'm more on your side than Disney, because Disney it seems like Disney knows everything these days, and Sony's just trying to stay relevant. You know, like, outside of Spider-Man, what are Sony pictures that are relevant that everyone wants to watch, you know? And, you know, there's some comments that I've looked at, you know, over the course of this saga. You know, why is Sony being so greedy? And, I mean, I can understand it being greedy, but, I mean, outside of Spider-Man, I don't really feel it's that relevant. In the movie, you know, venture, it's relevant in other venues, and like video games and all that. But I'm just like, I'm so tired, and I'm so sad that I can't even be mad. And I mean, I can't obviously be like Disney's not gonna listen to me. He's probably not gonna listen to anyone else if they have 1 million subscribers or something like that. They're not gonna listen to, you know, Sony's not gonna listen to me. Even though I do understand the need for Sony to stand their ground, but why did you close the door? You know, after they after Disney did the whole door in the face where they said, hey, we want everything. Why couldn't you just answer the phone as, oh, you know what, how about you get nothing? And then the next phone call would have been like, okay, how about we get something but not what we originally wanted? And it's like, that's the deal. And that is how you can negotiate. You don't run away with your tail between your legs because the bully's trying to, take your lunch. And because of that, we get screwed over. And so I can imagine Spider-Man not doing as well as it probably should, in the future because of this nonsense. You guys don't need to measure your pants. They're already measured. So get your heads out of your asses, because if they're saying it's over and that's actually a factually permanent truth, then you guys need to look at yourselves in the mirror. You guys need to reflect on what happened and realize how much you screwed over. Because this is stupid. This is stupid. I don't feel encouraged to watch a Marvel movie moving forward. I don't feel particularly encouraged to watch a Disney movie moving forward unless it's a specific actor that I want to see. I don't feel particularly compelled to watch anything Sony has to offer, except maybe Spider-Man, because Tom Holland's, he's the truth, So, anyway, I'm sorry guys. Please like and subscribe. I promise in the future, the future videos will be happier, they'll be funnier, they'll be more lighthearted. And in light of this bad news, when people get bad news, usually there's, depending on how bad it is, usually there's like a recovery period and all that stuff. I mean, Spider-Man isn't the only reason why I'm sad. It isn't the only reason why I feel the way I feel right now, because there's things in my personal life that I don't want to get into. There are a couple of people that have an idea, but the people who think they do, they're probably wrong. They're probably wrong. So, but I feel better tomorrow, because good news has to happen eventually. And that's the way you guys should think about whatever struggles you have in your life. So please like and subscribe. I am Reactor of All. You guys have a good morning, you guys have a great day, whatever time you're at, whatever time you're seeing this, have a good day, afternoon. And if you're in the middle of a mission or something, don't let anything hold you back. Alright. Peace out, guys.